It'll be fun. One thing I do want to acknowledge right at the beginning, because I feel kind of dumb if I don't at least acknowledge it. I have a unique laugh at times. I know it is. You'll get used to that. And so, and another thing you'll notice, I have ADHD. Surprise! Hey, look, a cat. And so I know a little times it's kind of hard to keep up with. I tend to talk fast. Most of you will get used to that. And I started doing this, as Dick mentioned, when I was in high school with Kiwanis, North Central High School back in Indianapolis. Mrs. Reagan was starting the Just Say No program at the time. And it was a great experience because they found out about what we were doing with Kiwanis in mentoring and working with young people in the Indianapolis area. And so the White House asked if I have any interest in traveling around the United States to speak on behalf of Just Say No and Kiwanis and what they were doing. So it was great because I was 16 and I was missing class and I had a note from the president to miss class, which was real. And so my junior year at North Central High School, they sent me out to Shasta County, not too far from here, and all the information they sent out in advance to Reading, where the school I was going to, said that I was a high school speaker, because I was. However, the program that I always did were for third grade kids. That's what Just Say No was all designed for little kids. All the information they sent out said that I was a high school speaker, so they misunderstood, and they thought that I was a speaker for high school students, which I wasn't. I happened to be in high school myself, and so when I go out there, I find out what happened. It's way too late to undo it. And I'm unbelievably nervous. And I'm in the high school gymnasium, and all the students are coming in to hear me speak, and I'm pacing back and forth, and I have a baseball hat on backwards, and this guy comes up to me, and he goes, "What is the difference between a rally and an assembly?" I'm like, "I don't know." He goes, "We do not wear hats in assemblies." And he took my hat off my head. He goes, "Now you know the rules. You'll get the hat back at the end of the year. Go see with your class." And I was like, he thinks I was stupid. And I said, "Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to say." He goes, "Well, then you'll sit next to me." And he grabs my arm, and he sits me in the front row of the bleachers. And then I say, "I'm going to have to speak in a second." He says, "You will not make one noise this entire program." Suddenly my life was a lot easier. So in walks the principal. I already met her. She was great. She sees me. She waves at me. I wave back. And as soon as I wave back, the guy next to me grabs my arm. And he goes, "You better stop being obnoxious." She was waving at me. And I thought, this guy is going to hate life. Because in 2 minutes, I'm going to have a microphone. And I'm telling everyone what's going on. So at least I have something to talk about for, a minute and 22 seconds. And so as she gets to introduce me, she comes and hands me the mic. I immediately grab it. I run away from the guy. I told the students what happened. They're laughing. Teachers are laughing. The principal's like on the ground. The guy that I'm talking about is not laughing at all. Eventually, he gets so mad. He gets up. He throws my hat at me. He walks out of the gym. Everyone starts to cheer. I found out later on that afternoon, it turns out he was the mayor. So I did not feel good. I can't wait till the next time some of you go to doctors and they ask you, "How do you feel?" They'll be locking you up. And so the great thing is, I love doing what I do because I think, that story is a good example. That not everything always goes your way. Sometimes with Kiwanis, we have visions of what we want to accomplish and succeed and aspire to, which is great. But it doesn't always turn out the way we want. So I think a lot of the success really is amplified by our attitude, by what we get involved in. Some of it turns out successfully, some of it doesn't. We redo it, we do it in a different way. But we always look for the positive in everyday, unique situations. I used to speak in Texas a lot. And in Texas, there's a chain of restaurants called Taco Cabana. It's really good. It's kind of like Taco Bell, except the big difference is Taco Cabana serves food. I'm just serious. And so every time I go to Texas, I eat there because it's only located in Texas. And they're all over the place. And to me, the great thing about Taco Cabana is part of the branding of Taco Cabana is they built every single restaurant to be out the exact same blueprints. They want you that when you walk into Taco Cabana, you kind of forget where you are. So you could be in San Antonio, Dallas, Waco, it doesn't matter. You walk into Taco Cabana, every Taco Cabana looks exactly the same. Now, I have to pause for a moment and tell you this. The reason I'm telling you this story is 2 reasons. One, it's my favorite story of all time. Some of you will try to repeat the story afterwards. You're totally going to enjoy it and get it. But the other thing is it's entertaining to me. Because when I get to a part of the story, about 2 minutes, a third of you in here, 2/3 of you in here are going to love this story. You're going to laugh and smile. A third of you in here are not going to have any clue why the people sitting at the table next to you are laughing at a certain part of the story. I have no idea why this happens. It has nothing to do with you. I don't think it has anything to do with intelligence. But 1/3 of the audience just does not find the humor in what I'm going to say. And it's not that it's not funny. It's just they don't. So if you fall into that category, or you don't understand why the people next to you are laughing, just play along and smile and count ceiling tiles like I do. And the rest of you in here will totally understand what I'm talking about. Okay. A couple of years ago, I get a call to go up to Fort Wayne, Indiana, my home state. I'm driving up there, and I get out the interstate to go speak to school there. Most of what I do are school assemblies, and I see this Taco Cabana in my home state of Indiana. And I'm like, whoa, I can't believe there's one here in Indiana. And when I walk in, there's a map of the United States with red dots all over the state of Texas to signify all the Taco Cabanas in the universe. And then there's one red dot, boom, right there on the state in Indiana, Fort Wayne. I'm like, whoa. And I asked the manager, why is this here? And he goes, well, the owner of the company's daughter got married, and her new husband got transferred to Fort Wayne. So as a wedding gift, he had a restaurant built next to his daughter's new house so that she could always feel close to her dad. I'm like, wow, bueno, papa. You know, so I go back to that night for dinner, and I can't believe that there's one on my home state. And because, you know, I'm kind of quirky, I order the exact same food. I always have my USA Today newspaper when I'm on the road. I've got that for me. I sit at the exact same table, and I'm looking around, and it looks exactly the same. It looks like you could be anywhere in Texas. I'm sitting in Fort Wayne, my home state of Indiana. I'm looking around. It looks like I could be in Texas. I totally enjoy my Taco Cabana experience. Okay, and here's where I lose a few of you. 5 minutes into dinner, a guy sits at the table next to me. Everything I'm telling you right now happened within an instant. I look at the guy. He has on an Indiana University sweatshirt. It's a red sweatshirt, white letters. All it says is Indiana. I look at him. I'm like, oh my gosh. I get up from my table. I go over to this total stranger, and I say, hey, I'm from Indiana. He looks at me. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, where are you from? He's like, Fort Wayne. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in Indiana. And that's it. I mean, I've never been so freaked out in my entire life. I mean, first of all, what are my options? You know, I cannot say, you know, I thought I was in Texas. I mean, how weird is that? And so I don't say anything. I'm like, ooh, and I sit back down. Now, it's one of those times that you wish you were a kid. Because if you're a kid, you can pick up your tray and move somewhere else in the restaurant to get away from the bad man. You know, but when you're an adult, that's a bit awkward. And so I'm sitting there, and I can tell psychically, we're not making eye contact with each other, God forbid, it's way too awkward. But I can tell we're both trying to eat faster than the other one to get out of there. And so I'm eating. And as I'm eating, my brain starts replaying exactly what just happened as a loop. And I start realizing how ridiculous the entire situation is. And I start laughing out loud. Now, if you laugh with friends in public in these United States, that's perfectly acceptable. But if you laugh by yourself in public, and there's refried beans and nasal cavities involved, that's psychotic. And so now the guy is absolutely enraged, and he gets up, he walks into the restaurant. It turns out he was the man. That was weird. And I realized again, not everything always goes your way. You got to be able to find the positive, even in the most negative of times. I mean, I'm a big believer of just looking for the abnormal in everyday normal situations, of trying to find the levity or the light or the humor in everyday situations. My favorite example is this. We've all been through drive-thrus at McDonald's where you really can't understand what they're saying because the speaker's kind of broken and messed up and muffled. Next time you go through a drive-thru, have some fun, get yourselves one of these, a kazoo, and keep it with you in case of an emergency. And if you do this right, this works every single time. When they say, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order?" You talk to them back. The scary thing is, I love it. By the way, those of you with the clap, I love that so much. I love not the clap. I don't want you to clap. I think that is the greatest thing. Where was I? I was over here. Oh, here's another one. My dad. When I was little, my dad took me to McDonald's one time for my birthday, and before we get there, he makes out a big poster-board sign that says, "Our speaker's broken. Please speak as loud as you can." I don't know what the sign's for. My dad can barely breathe. He's laughing so hard because as we get there, he gets out of the car, puts duct tape on the back of the sign, and sticks it underneath the speaker in the drive-thru. So now there's a sign that says, "Our speaker's broken. Please speak as loud as you can. Thank you, Ronald." Now, if you do that, if you go through a drive-thru McDonald's and there's a sign that says the speaker's broken, chances are it's broken. I mean, no one's going to go out of the way to put up a sign that doesn't belong because most people have lives, you know, but all the people working inside McDonald's, they don't know the sign's out there. So my dad and I park the car, we go inside, we get some food, we sit at a table by the counter, and we watch. And for the next 2 hours, it is the greatest entertainment of your lifetime because it was like, people inside McDonald's come out here, they have the McDonald's Nassau Headwear thing on, they're landing the Space Mix shuttle. Or actually, this is one of my favorites. I did this a couple years ago. I got this when I was on the road. I was speaking in Syracuse, New York. I found this. It's called a Magician's Blindfold. It is by far, hands down, the greatest thing I've ever bought for $10. It's a blindfold you can totally see through perfectly fine. It's got mesh. Like, I'll prove I can see through it. I'll tell you how many fingers I'm holding up. 3. And so I bought this thing, right? I've been wearing this thing around. I'm telling you right now, I've never had more fun driving in my entire life. GSA at the airport. Here's my favorite. Go to a grocery store. Go to a grocery store sometime by yourself and buy one thing. Buy just one grape. One grape. Put the grape in your cart. Wheel it around the store. Get in the express checkout line because you qualify. Take the grape, put the conveyor belt, watch it go down, and stand there and watch the fun begin. Because honestly, if you don't laugh, they don't know what to do. They have to take you seriously. Because they don't know how much to charge you. Like this one time, the cashier tried to scan the grape. Most cashiers, well, I thought Riverside was amazing. This is an amazing audience. Most cashiers try to weigh it. One grape weighs nothing. So they try to they're like, well, just take it. Take the grapes. You take it, then eat it, go get another one, get back. Still hungry. I mean, obviously, these are all ridiculous examples of taking normal situations and experiencing them in a different way. That's what Kiwanis is. Most people don't get involved in Kiwanis. Most people don't allow themselves the opportunity to experience life in a different way that you've chosen to do. Most of us don't do, I think in life, getting involved with Kiwanis is simply an experience to look at life differently, to be able to enhance someone else's life in a really positive way, to allow them to find the humor and the light and the levity and the love and the joy in everyday situations. I love the movie Lilo and Stitch. Some of you may know as the concept of Ohana. Ohana, as some of you may know, is the Hawaiian word for family. If you take the breakdown of the word Ohana in Hawaii, the letters N-A mean not to leave something behind. The letters H-A means breath or spirit. Like Hawaii means land of breath, land of spirit. O represents the Hawaiian lei or necklace that people wear around their necks to symbolize how we're all connected as one. So they believe in Hawaii that Ohana or family is not just siblings and parents and spouses. It's all of us. It's our duty to make sure that nobody gets left behind or forgotten. That's the essence of Kiwanis. The reason you're doing what you do is because you are trying to ensure that nobody, not one spirit, gets left behind or forgotten. They believe in Hawaii that when a young person is born, they have a light inside of them called mana. Mana means power. And so when you're born, that light naturally shines. That's why little kids are so positive, is because they don't know what it is to be negative until they're taught to be negative. I mean, what makes you happy when you're little are simple things. Playing with toys, playing with friends, making up really dumb songs about stuff that doesn't make sense. We all used to do that, obviously. Some of us still do. We all used to say stuff like, I'm gonna have a sandwich and noodles and cheese, and you're doing the macaroni, and your parents are like, oh, that's cute, and they're videotaping it. But if you do that when you're 44 years old, they take you away to that special place. It's called pornos. And everybody ends up on Oprah. And somewhere along the line, slowly your attitude starts to die. It's real simple. They believe in Hawaii that every time something negative happens to a young person, it's like taking a tiny pebble and dropping it in their bowl of light. If you take one pebble and put it in a bowl of light, the light still shines. It's no big deal. But if over time, more pebbles start collecting, more negative things start happening to that young person, eventually, for some reason, that light becomes suffocated. It's still there. It just can't break through all the junk and all the negative things they've experienced. That's what you do. You allow young people to remove some of those pebbles from the bowl of light. We allow them the opportunity to remember what it's like to be loved, to remember what it's like to make a difference, to remember what it's like to have total strangers who happen to be adults that are member of Kiwanis, to care about them so much, they are able to restore the essence of who they are. They're mana, they're light. And that's what, again, it's an incredible thing that we're able to do as an Ohana, as a team. USA Today newspaper found out that when a kid's born, you're born in two fears. You're born in the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. So everything else a kid experiences that's negative is something they have to actually experience for themselves. And again, we allow them the opportunity to unlearn that. The essence of aloha, I think that's why we're here today. L-O-H-A. Alo is the presence of something. H-A is breath and spirit. Aloha is the presence of breath and spirit. To me, it kind of represents the essence of being your own role model, of being able to allow young people to look in the mirror and see someone they're proud of, that they really respect and are happy that they are as a result of what we do for them. A, in the word aloha stands for attitude. Everyone has positive attitude. Not everyone has positive attitude. Most people in here have positive attitudes, or you wouldn't be involved with Kiwanis, I think. I mean, that's one thing, though, that sets us apart from other people, is at least we are able to recognize, for the most part, we have a positive outlook for the young people we're working with. I mean, that's one thing that keeps us in common, is we have open dreams and aspirations for the people that we're reaching out and really touching in a positive way. If any of this stuff applies to you in a second, all you have to do is just raise your hand and look around and see who has something common in you that you may not realize. Because it's easy to recognize the similarities we have with each other, but it's our differences that really bring us together as one. Okay, is anyone an only child? You have no siblings at all? Only child? Okay, a few. Anyone have two or more siblings? Two or more siblings? Okay, great, hands down. Anyone have 4 or more siblings? Okay, hands down. Anyone have 6 or more siblings? Wow, okay, hands down. Has anyone lost track? You've seen pictures, but is anyone a triplet? Do we have any triplets in the room? Out of curiosity. Okay, couple. Anyone a twin? Do we have any twins in the room? Okay, great. Is anyone single? No. Has anyone not raised their hand yet during this exercise? Your hand has not been up. Okay, great. Hands down. Has anyone still not raised their hand? Anyone here not raise your hand right now under any circumstance you flat out refuse to raise? Okay, that's great. I'm glad you're here today. Has anyone lived in a non-traditional family? Whatever that means to you, it's a non-traditional type of family. Okay, great. Has anyone adopted or someone in your family is adopted? Okay, great. Hands down. Has anyone been involved in Kiwanis for less than a year? Less than a year you've been involved. Wow. Congratulations to those of you that just raised your hand. Fantastic. Anyone been involved in Kiwanis for 3 or more years? 3 or more years. Okay, great. Hands down. Anyone 8 or more years? All right, hands down. Anyone 15 or more years? Look around at that. 15 or more years. Anyone 25 or more years?
Wow.
All right, let's keep going. Anyone 40 or more years? Hands up high. Can we keep going? Anyone 50 or more years? Do we have any? Honest to God. Congratulations. Anyone 90 or more years? Has anyone ever been skinny dipping in a bathtub? You ever been skinny dipping? Okay, great. If your hand did not go up, the person next to you can move seats now. That's disgusting. Has anyone ever walked out in the middle of a movie in a theater? Okay, great. Anyone ever walked in a plate glass window? Anyone ever walked in the window at the movie theater? Has anyone ever received a gift you did not want and you re-gifted it as a brand new gift? Okay, great. Anyone ever cut your own hair? Or cut someone else's hair who was sleeping? Has anyone ever walked in the opposite gender bathroom on accident? All right, hands down. Anyone ever walked into it on purpose? Has anyone ever been skinny in the opposite gender bathroom while cutting someone else's hair? Has anyone, I'm going to skip through that. This is my cat for Halloween. Because I love Halloween. That's my pumpkin. And we don't have time for that story that I was going to tell, but I think though, if we realize our attitude is dictated upon who we surround ourselves with. I'm a big believer that most of you in here are members of Kiwanis, not because you join Kiwanis. People do not join Kiwanis. People join Kiwanians who are part of Kiwanis. There's a big distinction there. And I think a lot of it, most of you, I think a lot of it has to do with our attitude. Most of us who never got involved with Kiwanis, if someone that was already involved did not have such a positive attitude, positive experience, that we wanted a piece of that. And so again, congratulations on the attitude that you have that you convey to others that make them want to get involved and stay part of this legacy. A stands for attitude. L over to Aloha stands for love. I think the way a young person feels about themselves is a reflection of how they treat others. It's as simple as that. And so it's our choice to impact that positive person or that young person in a positive way. I truly believe that it is a choice. This is a picture of the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. At the end of the Holocaust Museum, they have this thing called the Wall of Remembrance, which is a big ceramic tile wall. It's made up of 3,000 tiles. Every tile on the wall has been painted by a kid who's been to the museum to pay tribute to the people that were killed in the concentration camps simply because of their differences. And you walk by the wall, and it's amazing to see what kids come up with. And we're looking at these tiles, and I'm walking by the wall, and I have to go really slow because in front of me is a field trip of second graders, and they're cute. They're all lined up and they're holding hands. Then I realize they're all physically tied together at the wrist. So all of a sudden it's not cute, it's kind of creepy, but they're still holding hands. And there's a girl next to me, and every time she takes a step in the class, she trips over herself. And I realize she has a t-shirt on that's so big, it's hanging underneath her heels. And so, the back of her shirt, the shirt she has on, is a shirt that I can tell that every kid gets a chance to wear during the field trip throughout the year. Because on the back of the shirt it says, I am the caboose of the day. Right? So she's the caboose in a blue short. And her right arm is getting ready to get ripped out of her socket. Because the rest of the train is trying to go faster than she wants to go. And she loves watching the wall. She's counting the tiles, naming the colors. And I realize they're so smart to put that kid at the end. That's a great lesson in leadership. A train can never go faster than a caboose will allow the engine to go. That kid's at the end of the train, but yet she's dictating the entire speed of the train. And so I love watching that kid watch the wall. And I see one tile on the wall that really stands out. And this is the actual tile. It says it shouldn't hurt to be different. And I look at it, I'm like, perfect. I can't believe some kid came up with that message. With that in thinking, I tap the girl on the shoulder next to me because I don't want her to miss the tile. And as soon as I touch her, my life changes. I touch her, she looks at me, and then she screams as loud as she can in this public museum, "Caboose, stop!" And then she starts screaming, "That man just touched my shoulder!" And I don't know what to do. Security guards are coming after me. Monkeys from the Wizard of Oz are flying out of nowhere. The teacher comes running around to the back. The teacher was so flipped out when she came to the back. She was still attached to the rest of the train. So the whole train is surrounding me. Oh, and the kid will not shut up. And man just touched my shoulder. And the teacher's like, honey, calm down. What's wrong? She goes, that man that I don't know just touched my shoulder. Then the teacher looks at me, and she's an attitude. She's like, what is your side of the story? I'm like, are you kidding? I'm a grown adult. I'm talking to a second grade teacher, and I'm in trouble. So I tell her what happened. She looks at me, she goes, well, I'm really sorry. She tends to overreact. I'm like, yeah, I get that. And so the teacher goes back to the front, and the girl's still next to me, so it's kind of awkward. I'm just waiting for her to go. I see out of the corner of my eye, she starts going like this with her free hand to get my attention. My first thought is, no way. I'm not going to look at this kid because I don't know what the consequences of looking at her. And so she keeps doing that. Finally, I give in because, ADD, I want to get out of here. I'm like, yes, honey. She looks at me, she goes, mister, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. And she goes, I hope you're not mad at me. I was just doing what I was supposed to do. I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. I was like, well, you did the right thing. She's like, thank you. And then she said, so what did you want? I'm like, I thought you're not supposed to talk to strangers. She goes, yeah, but now we're talking. You're not really a stranger. I was like, I have no idea. And she goes, what did you want? I was like, look, I just wanted you to see that tile. And I point to it. She looks at it. She goes, can you lift me up to a second meeting by myself? No. Because if I do that, I'm going to touch both your shoulders. And she goes, that's okay. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. I lift her up. I did not even think about this next part. As soon as I lift her up, the entire back third of the train rises in the air because she's still attached. Her arms turning blue, kids dancing in the air, text messaging 911 with the little Fisher-Price blueberries with Bluetooth crayons. I'm holding her in the air now. Again, I have the attention span of a gnat. So if a little kid's learning how to read, God bless him, she's in the air, sounding out every word. She's like, it-ta, it-ta, it. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm reading. I'm like, no, you're not. She goes, yeah, I'm reading it-ta. I was like, that's not even a word. And then she says something. I realized you cannot argue with the logic of little kids. She goes, mister, if you can say something with your mouth, that is a word. Okay, Miriam. It-ta, should-ta, her-ta, to be different-ta. Put me down. And as I put it, she looks at me, she goes, I know what it says. It says it shouldn't hurt to be different. And I was like, good. And she goes, why did you want me to read that so bad? I'm like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool. She looks at me, she goes, I don't think it's cool. I just think it's true. How come all grown-ups don't remember that? Then she turns to me, caboose, go. And I sat there, and then she looks at me, she goes, goodbye, honey. That little kid doesn't even know what differences are. There was a time in our life that we didn't recognize differences in others, therefore you treated everyone exactly the same. Most of us return to that. They believe the Hawaiian lei, the circle, the necklace that people wear around their necks, represents your attitude in life. You start out in one place as a child of total unconditional love, and you spend your entire adult life trying to get back to that exact same spot. And that's the key. They believe if you die with the same attitude you have towards the love and acceptance of others, you fulfill your life purpose. And so again, I believe that it's a choice. The way we treat others, the way that the children we choose to impact in such a positive way, it's a difference we make in their lives that is immeasurable. It's easy to see all the statistics of all the negative things in the world. There's no way to measure all the lives that have been made better simply because of the difference you've made for honest. There's no way to measure that. Again, it's a choice and it's to be made. And a long time ago, I wrote, oh, by the way, you talk about how you choose to love Kiwanis. I think when new members come into your groups, to your clubs, I think one of the greatest things you can do is to honor them by asking them what's important to them and find out whatever their servant project idea is. And whatever new members you have in your club, whatever their idea is, do that idea. You have no idea what an impact that makes to the new member to be so involved right away and to be so honored by whatever they have, whatever thoughts they have or ideas they have, to be implemented right away. Again, it's a choice. It's how we get involved with others. In 1992, I wrote a poem that came to me in a dream, which is a whole weird situation itself. And I was in Columbus, Georgia. I was speaking at a conference there, a 7th grade leadership conference. I wrote the dream down in the middle of the night. I went back to bed. I never did anything with it until we adopted my son, Scout, who's now 12 years old, and I turned it into a book, like a gift book that people can give to others that they choose to love in their life. But I think the message is very appropriate to Kiwanis and what you've chosen to do. It goes like this. It is amazing in this world today that's filled with love and hate. What separates the common one from the one who's truly great? For it's not the money in your bank account or the stuff in your backyard. It's instead what you share from inside of your loving, caring heart. You do not choose your color of skin. You don't choose to be born rich or poor. You don't choose to be deaf or blind, wishing you had something more. You don't choose with whom you fall in love. You don't choose to be born woman or man. You don't choose your family at birth. It's all part of a much larger plan. And although for some it's hard to relate to the differences others endure, keep in mind there are certain choices that make you shallow or pure. You do choose to love or hate. You do choose to follow or lead. You do choose to embrace or ignore others in their time of need. Some things in life you cannot change, but your attitude can change, it's true. And by doing so, you can affect the people who look up to you. The meaning of life is the greatest mystery of all, but the answer is easily found. It is unconditional love for all humankind who walk on our common ground. Again, it's a choice. It's the way we adapt and relate to others. Thank you very much. A stands for gratitude, O stands for love. O stands for overcoming obstacles. One of the greatest gifts we give to the kids we interact with is the ability to realize obstacles are only obstacles that allow you the opportunity to get higher, to actually move ahead, to actually rise from whatever the situation is. My favorite poet in the world is this lady. Her name is Maya Angelou, who has a quote that says, "Failure is not a person, it is simply an event in your life, and failures make you stronger if you choose to learn from them." That's it. And that's how kids live their life. They don't know what failures are until they're taught that it's somehow bad. Otherwise, it's just opportunities to get up and move on. Same thing with dogs. Same thing with animals. I've got a dog named Dreyfus. He's coming up here. He's on the left. Dreyfus is a half Beagle and half Jack Russell. You put Beagle and Jack Russell together, you get Russell. He's a Russell Terrier. His nickname is Sprout. Russell. Okay. And the great thing about Dreyfus is Dreyfus has an obstacle, but to him, he doesn't care what it is. He doesn't even recognize it. I'll show you in a second. My favorite picture of Dreyfus is this one because I love his eyes. It looks like the picture that was taken right before he was abducted by the UFO. All right? Here's another great picture of Dreyfus and his best friend Corky. Corky's a dog, right? I adopted him, and he was really hurt and abused before I got him, and so his tail was always tucked between his legs, and you can tell by looking at him, he's always very sad. Whenever Dreyfus is around, as soon as Dreyfus is around, Corky's tail started to wag. Or if he just said his name, Corky, where's Dreyfus? His tail would wag. Or for those of you that have dogs, you ever seen when they're sleeping, they're dreaming, and their paws start moving like they're going through some enchanted milk-bone forest? And so when Corky gets to sleep, I used to whisper into his ears, "Corky, where's Dreyfus?" And his tail used to wag in his dreams. And that's a miracle. Dreyfus made such an impact in Corky's life in a positive way. Whenever Corky was around, anytime you said his name, his tail simply wagged. And because dogs don't know how to pretend, you can't take a dog that's sad and tell it to pretend to be happy. The dog acts the way that it feels. The way that Dreyfus was able to allow Corky to restore his bowl of light, to remove pebbles from his bowl of light, there are young people you work with. There are young people that because you're a club and organization, you've never even met these kids. But because of your existence, because of what you've chosen to do, you allow them to learn and realize there are people looking out for you, the Dreyfuses of the world. Here's the obstacle that Dreyfus has. You can tell. His back left leg is missing. Now, he does not realize that it's missing. I mean, he knows it's missing, but he really thinks he's normal, and four-legged dogs are not, because he used to go up to Corky and gently nibble on Corky's back left leg. And I honestly believe he was trying to remove his leg. I honestly believe he'd go back with Corky. Corky had to carry around an extra appendage, and obviously didn't need because Dreyfus didn't need it. And the other great thing about his leg being gone is how kids react. Some kids don't even know it's gone. I took him on a walk one time, and a kid came up and goes, "Can I pet your dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you got to be careful. If you touch him, you're his new best friend." Because other dogs can pick up their back legs and scratch their ears, but he can't because he'd collapse. So, he needs help. And so this kid wants to pet Dreyfus, and I'm standing there, and I used to think Dreyfus was a big hero of mine because he was different and he didn't care. And so I was at a conference where I met this dog named Faith. Faith is born, she's missing her two front legs. And this lady, they live in North Carolina, she was able to teach Faith to sit up on her hind legs and balance herself, and then that turned to her hopping. And now Faith is 6 years old, and the way she gets around, she gets up on her hind legs and just walks around like a person. Like you've never seen anything like it in your entire life. So she was my new hero until I met this horse. No, I'm just kidding, that's not a real picture. And so the kid is Buddy Dreyfus, and the kid's Buddy, how do you feel? The kid's Buddy Dreyfus, and I'm talking to the mom, and the mom says to me, "Oh, did you know your dog only has 3 legs?" And I'm like, "Well, I got it for 25% off because of the mom." The mom goes to the kid, the mom says, "Honey, you better not touch that dog anymore. He only has 3 legs." And the kid honestly didn't know Dreyfus's leg was gone. Because the first thing he started doing was waving his hand underneath Dreyfus's body. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cute." And then he starts getting tears in his eyes. And I thought, "Oh, he feels sorry for Dreyfus." Then I thought, no, he doesn't feel sorry for him. He was actually scared. He didn't want to look at him or play with him. 2 minutes ago, he's Dreyfus's best friend. Now he's scared to death because that mom just put a pebble in that kid's bowl of light. The kid is not prejudiced against 3-legged dogs. talks, and even though the mom then says, oh, it's okay, honey, you can still touch them, no, it was too late. The kid now has to unlearn being afraid of a three-legged dog. And sometimes we work with young people where they've been taught things about people that are older than them, that adults don't care, that the generations ahead of them don't really want to, care about it. And we're able to distill and eliminate those myths and prejudices that they have. We allow them the opportunity to experience actual physical observations of overcoming obstacles by allowing them to realize how much you care. That's what we're doing. I mean, you think about the word aloha. We have a good attitude. You love others or you wouldn't be doing this. You're allowing young people to overcome obstacles by finding opportunities to grow stronger. And most importantly, they have a sense of humor. I think that's the most key of all. That's one thing we really have in common is the ability to laugh, the ability to be able to smile. USA Today newspaper did a study that found out the average kid in America smiles 375 times a day. That's great. The average adult in America smiles 17 times a day, which is something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 18. I'm average 24, I mean, we're able to really kind of keep a sense of humor. I really think that's the key, is being able to laugh around us, even when it doesn't even feel like laughing, to allow young people to experience the humor and the joy and the levity of life, because it's everywhere. I mean, when you're a little kid, you love Charlie Brown, but he's not a good role model. How many years has he been in 3rd grade? It's like 10,000. You know why? It's because his teacher does not even speak the same language, right? TV shows like wong wong, and the teacher wong wong wong. Charlie Brown's like, speak English. He's ripping all his hair out. Looks like he's bald. I mean, you got to be able to look for the humor in everyday situations. Kids and pets are the greatest teachers of all. They naturally help us remember what it is to look out for each other. They're great teachers of Ohana. Some kids and pets are so alike, they're a little bit too alike. Here's some actual photos of kids and their pets to illustrate how they resemble each other. Now, some of these are really cute. I love that. That one's adorable. That one's really precious. The next one is a little bit creepy. I'm not really sure. I love that. I love when the dog is actually smiling. And that's my favorite right there. But when you really think of aloha, attitude, love, overcoming obstacles, I truly believe that HA, the idea of laughter, really is the #1 tool we have to really make a difference in Kiwanis, to make a difference in the world. I've got some photos right now that illustrate how comedy and laughter is all around us. You just have to look for it. Some of these pictures I've taken, some have been emailed to me. This one came from Arizona. This is one of my favorite pictures of all times, right outside of Phoenix. This one also came from Arizona. My friend was very upset by this. So is his wife. This is from my home state of Indiana, which is a little sad, quite frankly. This is in front of an elementary school in northern Indiana. So proud. I have no idea what this sign means. I have no idea what this sign means. I really have no clue what's going on here. This is in Maine. Look at the 3 things the guy advertises. Guns, cold beer, and for the ladies, wedding gowns. This, I don't know, I have no clue. I think that's, this is why we have an economy problem, is because we spend government money on signs like this. This is in Alabama. Notice the 2 banners on this store. This is in Canada. You can put, this is also from Canada. I thought this was fantastic. I love this sign. You have to read the whole sign. The bottom line is very, very important. I have no idea what happened here, but something went terribly wrong. This, I'm pretty confident, is illegal. I have no idea what that even means. And then the last one's my favorite. It came from Montana. I was in Montana speaking. I saw the sign. I was laughing so hard I couldn't drive for the next few minutes. I have no idea what's going on in the state of Montana, but I promise you, what you're going to see right now is one of the greatest signs of all time. Get ready and enjoy. Honestly, can you imagine? You're driving on the highway. It's a beautiful Montana day. A cow falls on your car. Then you see the sign. I guess that's how they made ground beef. I don't know. Again, mahalo. Mahalo means I'll give you a part of my spirit, a part of my life, or for what you've done for me. You have no idea the young people that you've impacted that say mahalo to you. To Pete and Dick and to everyone that helped make this happen by inviting me to be part of this, I say mahalo to you, but especially the difference you make. This is not normal to get involved in Kiwanis. Congratulations on your abnormality. I mean, you made such a difference in the world. My grandparents, my parents have all been involved in Kiwanis over the years, and I'm always so proud to have that legacy. So on behalf of all the people that have never taken the time to say thank you for the dedication and the volunteer times and the difference you've made in the lives of young people. Honestly, I hope you hear that. If you don't, we can never hear it enough. And I do want to say thank you because the difference is extraordinary. And so again, we're all playing the same game. We're all part of it. On your tables are bingo cards. Somewhere on your table, in between the salt and pepper shakers, should be a set of bingo cards. If you can pass those bingo cards out to everyone at your table. In between one of the set are bingo cards. So you will need something to write with. We're going to play a quick game of bingo, and then we're going to wrap up with this really fun thing that you're going to love. Here's how the bingo game is going to work as you're getting the cards. All you have to do is get a line across, a line down, or a line diagonal. Most of us have played bingo. You'd be surprised some people have not. The winner of the bingo game will get a special Hawaiian lei that you can therefore take home with you and then share with other people in your life that have made a difference to you. The concept of the Hawaiian lei is never to keep it for yourself, but instead give it to someone else who's made a difference in your life. Perhaps someone at this conference with you today has made an impact in your life and you want to share it with them. If you're the winner, you will get this lei and we can start the magic. Now, here's the great thing. If someone at your table wins, the entire table wins, right? So if someone at your table wins, the entire table wins, right? So all you have to do is get a line across, a line down, or a line diagonal. If you're the one that wins, you have to say aloha before anyone else does, so that if there's a tie, everyone else in here will tell me who said it first, okay? As simple as that. So that is the game, and we're going on from there. And you'll see, of course, it says the word aloha on the top, so you gotta look, we have 2 columns of A's. First one is H49. H49. Is anyone really close to winning? You're only 1 number away. Wow, you got great cards. That's amazing. All right, here we go. Now, if you forget whether or not I've called a number, all you have to do is look at the bottom, and you can see the numbers that have been called. Okay, here we go. Moving on from here, we have the O column. We have O40. O40. Is that a good one for anyone? O40? Okay, good. All right, moving on from there. A73. The big numbers will be to the right. So A73, all the way to the right-hand column, A73. All right, moving on from there. We have the first A column, A12. A12. All right, does anyone have a card where nothing's written on it so far? Your card's a dud? Okay, all right, here's what we're going to do. Everyone, take your card and hand it to the person sitting to your right. Everyone get rid of your card, the person to your right, whatever that means. Everyone get rid of their card, everyone get rid of your card. Now, watch this. Look at the card you just got and check the numbers. A73, O40, H49, and A12. Did anyone receive a card from someone next to you where one of those numbers was on there, but the person that gave it to you did not mark it off? You had to do it for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's incredible. We're all playing the exact same game. We're just starting out. Make sure you realize the game you play affects the game of others. Moving on from there, we have the A column again. This is all the way to the right, A70. A70. All right, moving on, a line across, a line down, or a line diagonal. The O column, O41, O41. Someone's got to be getting close. A line across, a line down, or a line diagonal. We have the O column, O39, O39. I know some of you are at Riverside, you're really hoping to win today. Here we go, moving up from there. All right, A68, that's the next one, A68. All the way to the right, A68. No one. Okay, line across, a line down, or a line diagonal. Here we go, the A column again, the first A column, A14, A14. All right, someone has to be getting close. This is crazy. We don't have any L's yet. A9, the first A column, A9. Anyone? Okay, now, yeah, okay, here we go, the first L. We may have a winner. L27, L27. A line across, a line down, or a line diagonal. We have a winner? We have a winner right there? Okay, hold on, don't cards yet. All right, are we really? Oh, wait, that is when this happens. Okay, hold on. Okay. You were wrong. Okay, that's right. Okay. All right, here we go. Moving on from there. Let's keep going then. Over the L column again, we have L24, L24, L24. All right, everyone get your original card back. Everyone get your original card back. Everyone get your original card back. All right, here we go. Moving on from there. We have the H column, H51, H51. If you get, you got it? No, not yet? All right. Okay, wow. All right, here we go. You got to say aloha if you're the one that gets it. H54. What just happened, all right? So here's how it works. There's 10 different cards at your table. numbers. I mean, obviously the numbers are reading. It's on PowerPoint. And so obviously it's all in order. When I say the numbers in a certain way, when I say 854, every card wins at the exact same time. If your card did not win, it's because the person that gave it back to you messed it up tremendously. Okay? That card is a winning card. Now, here's what I want you to think about. I told you at the beginning, if somebody at your table wins, everybody wins, right? No big deal. First time I had you switch cards, you could care less. You're just starting out. Second time I had you switch cards, everyone was number away. No one wanted their card back, right? We all wanted to keep it. Even though you knew, if you gave your winning card to the person next to you and they won, you still were going to win. Some of us still didn't want to do that. I think one of the greatest victories of all, and you know this by being in Kiwanis, is when you allow young people to win. When you allow them to succeed. That is where the victories really come in. It's allowing and empowering young people to succeed that we know we get the victories in life. And so again, I thank you for that. Here's the way we're going to wrap it up. Oh, by the way, if you want, I've got the Choose to Love book available for sale afterwards right at the table out there when you come out. If you want the book, I can sign it for you, what have you. And for every book we sell, I'm going to make a donation of books to this National Circle K so they can send them to the Leadership Academy, and the Leadership Academy kids can take them back for the young people that they work with in the smaller groups of young people across the country. So those will be available as well. So that's what we do. All right, so, and I'll be happy to sign it for you, whatever. Here's how it's going to work. Today is not about what you learn. Today is about what you unlearn. It's about what are the pebbles, not only in your bowl of light, but the light of the lives we touch in the most powerful way, and realizing that's where the impact is made. The key of aloha, attitude, love, overcoming obstacles, having a sense of humor, really keeping that alive. But this is stuff we already know. We're allowing young people not to learn anything new, but to allow them to unlearn some of the negative things they picked up along the way. My nieces taught me something one time. They go, Uncle Kevin, did you know that we know something you know that you did not know that you know? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they taught me something I thought was profound. In life, we're all saying different words. The person you are, the life that you live, the way that you look, the way that you talk, whatever that is, that's all normal for you. That's what young people have to realize, is that's normal for them. However, we're all singing the exact same tune. We're all singing different words in life. We're all part of the same ohana. We're all part of the same Kiwanis ohana. We're all singing the exact same tune. My nieces go, Uncle Kevin, did you know the alphabet song? And Ba Ba Black Sheep and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star are all the exact same tune? I had no clue. Some of you knew this before today. Some of you did not know until right now. And some of you are trying to sing all three songs in your head right now simultaneously. Okay, here's the way we're going to wrap it up. If you were born January, February, March, or April, please raise your hand. You're going to be the alphabet song, hands down. If you're born May, June, July, or August, raise your hand. You're Ba Ba Black Sheep, hands down. If you're born September, October, November, December, raise your hand. You're Twinkle Twinkle. And if you're like me, you have ADD or ADHD, raise your hand. You're going to sing the song on the bottom of the screen. All right, here we go. Now, by the way, everyone in here also gets a Hawaiian leg. Since we all won, the Hawaiian legs are available, obviously for free, out at that table as well. I do encourage you to take one, but when you take one, I hope you take with the expectation that you will present it to someone in your life that's made a difference in your life in a positive way. It could be someone here, it could be someone back home, whatever it is, but give it to them and then explain to them that you would like them to pass it on to someone else that's made a difference in their life. And that's where the whole aloha spirit happens. And if I can help you out in your world of speaking presentations, the bingo card that you have has my website on it, so please feel free to go to it and let me know, because I'm back in the area quite a bit throughout the year. So here we go, all together now, singing the song. Ready? Twinkle black sheep, A-F-G, yes sir, J-K, what you are. You are my master, world so high. W, the little girl who lives in the sky. Now